7,
8,
9.
10. Oh! You flushed with
Yizzo!
excitement and arousal.
Not arousal. We got a nice text. Oh,
Internet folks
hello.
been saying you been glowing or whatever, dog. What's
That's
good?
right.
That's what's up. You got a new skincare routine or something. What
That's
makeup you
it.
wearing? Because you
Been
need to
getting my
shine.
sleep and minding my business as everybody else will. Okay. Thank
What's your
you.
update? Because I don't really got nothing to say.
Oh, my update. My update is corny. It's a political update.
It's
Let me say
important.
it.
We're in a very, everything is political, even your hair.
I just been playing with this post-it note. This is an aside, and I've been dipping into this candle here by a black-owned candle company called Lit Brooklyn. They have amazing
Oh
candles. You
yeah,
should
shout
get
out to
this.
Lip Brooklyn. Those
Yeah,
they are.
get them in the sable. But I'm taking the wax and coating this, and I'm realizing that it's very nice, and I could possibly coat my own letters the way Tywin Lannister, or maybe pour some wax and have close my
A
letters
seal.
with a seal.
What
What would
would your
my
seal
seal
be?
be?
Yeah, what would your seal be?
Cat paw print.
Okay, I
You
could
don't
dig
like
it.
it? I don't
I
think you
could
like
dig
it.
it. Yeah, yeah, no, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Okay.
Kind of.
Damn. What would it be then?
I don't know. I like a cat paw print.
Little cat paw print.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know where she is. Oh, there she is. Anyway, I was talking to someone about this election, and I was growing very frustrated with so many black men that I see online. I don't know them, but I see them online just supporting Trump, talking they shit about Trump. We got one caller that keeps calling. I don't even know if he is a Trump supporter, but he just like to argue with me, but really argue with himself.
Who?
A caller that just keeps
Oh.
calling in and saying that basically we're caping for the Democrats, both you and I. And I don't think that we're doing that. I think that we've been very clear that we are very frustrated, especially you, with the two-party
Me
system.
capping for the Democrat?
Yeah, that's how I was like,
I
you
must
can't
be
be
fucking
listening.
up then.
I was like, I don't think so.
Oh,
I
no.
have been staunch in the fact that I do not feel like the Republican Party, especially the Republican Party headed up by Trump, will handle any of this mess better than the Democratic Party headed by Joseph Robinette Biden. I think Trump's in office. He might have dropped a nuclear fucking bomb on Gussa. I mean, this guy is so crazy. He literally said, did we cover this? That he said that if people didn't pay their fair share into NATO, he would encourage their adversaries to attack them. Like, what? Do you understand what an alliance is? Like, what are you even saying? So I say all that to say I have a problem with Joe. Joe, y'all remember how I was with Joseph Robinette. I was trying to love up on him. I want Joe to go away. I want him to take a beat. I don't think Joe will go away, so I just want the
Why
Democrat,
won't Joe go away?
because his ego is so inflated,
Where
and
is there's no other.
the problem is they should have announced this so long ago. They should have announced another person to run. It would have been most likely Gavin Newsom. There are other people running. I want to be very clear. There are other people running, and we need to do a better job of covering them, but they just have no chance in fucking hell of winning because you don't even know who they are, right? Like, there's not that machine behind them, and it sucks. You need a machine. Because you need money, you need visibility. What'd you say?
Machine's gonna kill us all, child.
Yeah, of
Anyway,
course.
go ahead.
That's part of the problem. I'm not advocating for it. I'm very clear that's part of the problem. But anyway, I was just like, yo, the Democrats need to just get their messaging out. Van had a funny
messaging?
thing.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry. I'm not gonna say anything else. I'm gonna let you cook. I apologize. Go ahead. I'm not gonna say
Van
anything.
had a funny thing on higher learning where he was again running down all of the things that Joe has gotten done in his term so far, and it was significant. And he was talking about the making sure that what's the drug for diabetes? Insulin
Ozempic. Oh.
is okay. Treatment rather. The insulin. Don't say nothing else this whole time, right?
I was dead ass serious.
Ozempic does help treat diabetes.
That's what I thought. That is the it drug for Ozempic, like
for everybody
for diabetes. Right, that was dead ass.
The insulin, he made sure the insulin was affordable, and that's very significant, especially to people in the Black and brown community. And he was talking about how they got to get their messaging together. It's so funny. He's an asshole. So he was like, I think about Big Mama from Soul Food. They need to get her on a commercial. Or they need to get one of the actors to be like, you remember Big Mama? Well, no longer is Big Mama at risk. I'm such and such for the Democrats.
I hate this idea.
And he was bullshitting, but he was bringing levity to it and then trying to make it further the message of I don't know how y'all message this shit out, but I don't want to see Joe. I don't want to hear from Joe. Just let Joe go away for a little bit because every time he talks, it's tricky. Then he posted that horrible image after the Super Bowl.
What the fuck was that?
He didn't do it. It's an intern. It's somebody running his social media. But also, why are they running your? I wonder if it's still up. Why?
That was scary. I thought that was like a.
I thought it was a parody account.
Leftist,
and you're doing that.
Political satire statement. That was terrifying,
girl. And he's doing that while he's being called Genocide Joe. Read the room. Why? Who from your team thought that was okay?
They ain't hiding, child. What the fuck you gonna do, dog?
Remember when she said she wasn't gonna say that, though? They had to. But anyway, so I've been having he left it up, and he said, just like I drew. For those of you on Patreon who don't know what we're talking about, basically trying to say that he drew up the Super Bowl result. Whatever. I will say I saw a cute thing on, Meet Cuties NYC.
Yes.
Him and Jill Biden just did that. Oh. It was very cute. So that was good. I think in social media people are trying to bounce back. Anyway, I'm not making excuses for his crazy self. What I'm saying is I was having this conversation with someone about how torn up I am and how I just don't know how I'm going to be able to select that Democratic button because I'm only voting in opposition to who I think is worse. Lesser of two evils, duh. And they said, you know what you need to think about? You need to think about the cabinet and the administration. You're not just voting for Joe Biden or for Trump or whoever maybe there's a third party candidate. You are voting for who they will put in place. You are voting for the Secretary of State. You are voting for, I don't know, the Chief of Staff. You're voting for the Secretary of Transportation. All of these folks that are in place that have serious power and influence for the next 4 years. And you need to look at it that way. And they said with Trump, you have somebody who all of the people that would reel him in and tell him when he's doing wrong and when his shit stinks has already done that. They've already done that and they've left his administration the first time. So now he is surrounded by nothing but yes men. Is that the administration you want in the Oval Office? People who will just do his bidding? Or do you want an administration that is a little more diverse, that might hopefully tell Joey when his shit stinks, and also, they were just honest. Joe might not make it 4 years, and then Kamala's up. How do you feel about her? These are the questions you have to ask yourself and weigh your options. At the end of the day, it is not a good choice, but I don't know if it's a hard choice either. And that's just the conversation they had with me. And they were like, you're going to hate it. We're all going to hate it. But when it comes to this funding, we have to get in our representatives' asses and ears about this. And funding? If we don't, the funding for you, for Israel, because that's really where I'm torn up the most. Of like geopolitically, Joe. Not and I don't think anybody. No, I don't think any other president would be different. If Barack was in office right now, I don't think that he's moving away from Israel. He already tried that, and Netanyahu circumvented him and went and got him together and showed just how powerful he is. Like, and I don't think that people realize that. So we're between a rock and a hard place, but we have to consider administration. We have to consider judges who are appointed. We have to consider the fact that Trump tried to get this, he tried to get that, the case against him in New York thrown out, and it was a New York Supreme Court justice, Democratic Supreme Court justice, to say, nope, you finna stand trial. And if that wasn't, who knows what would happen? Maybe it would have been thrown out. You just don't know. So, these are the people that are making decisions for our babies. These are the people that are making decisions for people who we know who are away right now, maybe locked up, in need of some sort of rehabilitation, our unhoused, the border. Nobody's going to get it all right. It's about at this point, it's about, one, figuring out how to fix this system and change it, and two, figuring out how to not put ourselves in a deeper hole, in my opinion. That's it. Hopefully that's helpful. But I'll probably be back feeling like this in like 2 weeks. Yeah. If I'm being honest. It's really hard right now, politically. It's really hard. And I find myself getting very angry with the MAGA country black men. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I just can't. And because I don't see it with black women. I see black women being dismayed, right? And being frustrated and being like, this system is fucked up. But there are just people, they attack me on Twitter. They write horrible things, like mad people getting blocked. And they're black. They are black men. Mm. It's wild. Mm. So we'll see. All that to say, we'll see.
Yes, we will. Oh, the uncertainty that we are all reckoning with.
Shit is scary, baby.
One thing you can have in your control is supporting Around the Way Curls podcast by rating, sharing, and subscribing. We would appreciate that. It helps with our visibility and our credibility. We out here trying to play the game as well, and it really does help us. So please, if you're a new listener or have been rocking with us for a while and have not done any of those three things and you feel moved to do so, do it now. Hallelujah. Also consider becoming a patron on our Patreon, which is a video subscription where you can see this podcast in video form as well as exclusive content. All you have to do is sign up, pick a tier at www.patreon.com/aroundthewaycurls.
Thank you.
Moving on to our
voicemails.
I love that one. That one gets me going. I don't know why.
All right. First up. Oh, it just every time just plays me. Can you write the time here? And did you happen to have any clips that last episode?
Mm-mm.
Come on. It's too hard to find the clips, please.
I think just what you just talked about now was very important. Very important.
I'm talking about the last episode.
Well, for this episode, let me write that down.
All right. We gotta get somebody to do these clips. Ready, set, go. Oh my God. What is happening?
Hey guys.
You heard it connect, right? You heard it. All right, let's unconnect it, disconnect it, try it again. Voicemails. All right. Should work now. Let's see. Oh my fucking God. What is happening? Sorry. This makes me uncomfortable. All right. When it says it's connected, it looks.
Carletta.
Okay.
I have called
Ready?
you guys. Hey guys, it's me again, Carletta. I have called you guys so many times because I keep messing up because I am incredibly nervous. I have never, ever, ever called in anything like this, and I don't know, I'm just like nervous. So, excuse me. But first things first, I love what you ladies are doing. Honestly, like I listen to you every single week faithfully, Mondays and Thursdays. And then I also have recommended you guys on all my socials, and I have sent it to all my friends and all my sisters. It's like a whole little thing. But thank you for being you. And Shanti, as I'm listening to you talking about
Oh my God. Sorry, my dad is calling me.
how people are like calling you and texting you, asking you if you're good. I don't know if it's a Sagittarius thing, but I'm the same exact way. Like I am all over the place. It sounds like I'm lost in sauce, but in reality, I'm just trying to I'm thinking out loud. So people have asked me if I'm next.
Oh, give me 1 second. I'm sorry. Yes. Oh no. All right, and so gonna play it right now. And I also need a second to get it up. Ready?
Yes.
Hey guys, it's me again, Carletta. I have called you guys so many times because I keep messing up because I am incredibly nervous. I have never, ever, ever called in anything like this, and I don't know, I'm just like nervous. So, excuse me. But first things first, I love what you ladies are doing. Honestly, like I listen to you every single week faithfully, Mondays and Thursdays. And then I also have recommended you guys on all my socials, and I have sent it to all my friends and all my sisters. It's like a whole little thing. But thank you for being you. And Shanti, as I'm listening to you talking about how people are like calling you and texting you, asking you if you're good, I don't know if it's a Sagittarius thing, but I'm the same exact way. Like I am all over the place. It sounds like I'm lost in sauce, but in reality, I'm just trying to I'm thinking out loud. So people have asked me if I'm manic, if I'm good, if my mental health is struggling. It's like, no, it's not. I just want to do a lot of things. So speaking of all of that, I have a question, and I need your ladies' advice. So I have been wanting to move to New York City for about 4 to 5 years. I mean, pretty much my whole adult life, I wanted to move to New York. I am terrified because how big the city is and how expensive the city could be. And I know you ladies are from there, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, then I'm sorry. I know you ladies are both from New York. So for someone who is seeking, I'm not going to start this over, sorry. So a person who is seeking like the thrill, not a thrill, person who is seeking adventure and who's wanting a fresh start, what advice and what tips can you give someone like me? Just to give you a little background, I am 30 years old, single, no kids. I have moved about 3 to 4 times in my whole life, and in every city that I have moved to, I did not visit. I just honestly moved on a whim and wanted to start over, and I have been successful in each city I've been into. So now that I'm at the point where I want to follow my dreams and I want to move to a city that I literally am obsessed with, I don't know, for some odd reason, I'm extremely hesitant because I do not want to fail, and I do not want this to, blow up in my face. I have been watching videos, I've been listening to podcasts, I've been I've been doing all the research, and every time I do it, I still want to move. And honestly, listen to you guys talk about, your adventures and your things that you do and concerts and festivals. I am obsessed with it even more. There are times where I'm actually jealous because I'm like, I wish I could do that.
She got cut off, poor baby. She called 4 times to get it all in, but it didn't work. But we got the gist. We are not from New York. That's number one. We are from Philadelphia, and we rep Philly hard, as you can see on Patreon. With my Philly, I didn't even realize I had a Philly set on right now. I, Antoinette, do live in Brooklyn. I went to school in New York, in New York City. Went to college here, and I never left. Afterwards, I stayed. As far as moving to New York, 30 years old, yeah, why the fuck not? Especially if you have a job, I personally would not recommend coming to the city without securing a job first. You can, but you will probably have to understand that you will need, unless you have a whole bunch of money saved up, with the way that rent works here, is that you will probably need some roommates, and you have to get good and comfortable with that. But if you can secure a job before you come here, maybe not. Maybe you can find a 1-bedroom. The average 1-bedroom right now is $2,200 without utilities. So that's something. Cost of living is higher here, but you do get paid more here, depending on what field you're in. So it's not the easiest place to live in, financially, but it is, if you're looking for, different types of cultural events, to be exposed to different things, to meet different people from all over the world, then yeah, I highly recommend it. Yeah, it ain't cheap, girl. You were like, how expensive it could be. It is. I just want you to know before you come, it is expensive. I lucked up and got a rent stabilized apartment, but my rent is still not cheap. It ain't stabilized just yet, because when you first get your apartment, basically rent stabilization is there's a board that votes on the percentage in which your rent will go up every year, depending on your lease. If you sign a 2-year lease, then you're locked in for that fixed rate for 2 years. If you sign a 1-year lease, it could go up. Sometimes the rent doesn't go up at all. But most times it goes up a percentage in which, there's a board that votes on that. And last year it went up the highest percentage that it ever has. And so everything is just going up and up and up here, but that's everywhere. So yeah, I don't know. I have a love and hate relationship with this beautiful city that I've chosen to reside in. It requires hard work. It requires you to remind yourself of why you fell in love with the city in the first place. And if you don't take advantage of the city, you can easily just be working all day and night and then not even enjoying the fruits of your labor. But Shanti, you come up here and you love it. So do you have any advice?
I don't know what you didn't mention. Did she mention where she is?
No, she didn't.
Yeah, if you're in the tri-state area, then I think you should definitely dip your toe in, and if you have friends here, come and visit. I think New York is a culture shock for people who aren't from New York, myself included. Like, I keep on telling myself I want to come and stay in New York for 2 weeks to really calm down and enjoy and explore. So I would recommend that you come to the city, get yourself an Airbnb in the summertime, rent that shit out right now. Get in the summertime, hopefully let that coincide with some festivals or some things that you're interested in doing.
Well, it will if you come in the summer.
And allow yourself 2 weeks to settle in and get a sense of the pace and to be able to explore it. Yes, I am a Sagittarius, but I also wouldn't recommend you just maybe at
30.
You ain't got no kids though. Like when anybody says,
Well, we don't know. Did she say she didn't have kids?
yeah, she said she don't
Oh,
have any
okay.
kids. So you do have some risk that you can. I would say really do a good risk assessment. Think about what happens. Do a good budget, figure out what your finances are. If something were to fail, who do you have to lean back on? Your mom, your dad, your cousin, who are the people that can catch you when you fall? Savings is always very wise. And again, you're just coming here having like at least 6 months, 3 to 6 months financially where you're mapped out and secure so you are not written with panic, regret, or whatever things that will blind you from the possibilities once you get here. But again, I think you should come in the summertime when it's lit and fall in love. And while you're here, map it out, make connections. I enjoy New York. I want to do that 2-week thing my damn self because it can be overwhelming if you just come for 2 days and it's not enough. So
And if
good luck. Let us know.
Yeah. But there are definitely people who don't come here with that savings who are good with like, if they manage
just
that,
figure it out.
if they
That's part
manage
of the
their anxiety or whatever, well, like we know people who literally came here. I mean, our photographer for the last shoot said that he came here and his apartment it fell through. It was a scam.
And
He was unhoused and slept on the subway.
I don't want that for baby girl.
I don't want that for you either. But there are so many people who will say that they did that and come here and now he's like thriving. Did he text you that he's gonna have a show here now? Mm-hmm. He was invited to do a exhibit, so we have to go and support that, and we'll make sure we tell folks when that is. But yeah, so it's not easy. But it is glorious when you figure it out.
Yeah,
right.
Ain't nothing like it. Ain't nothing like it in the world. You're young. Again, you don't have those heavy responsibilities. God willing, you have a net to catch you. So I say, leap, girl.
Leap. All right. Thank you for your call. All right. Next up. Ready?
Yes.
Keep it the
Hey
time.
y'all, my name is Audrey. I'm from Maryland. I'm calling in about the story where the mom was charged because her son murdered his classmates. The reason why I'm calling is because I had a similar reaction to Shanti at first, but then I was thinking, well, to both of you actually, I was thinking about the ramifications on the Black community and how Black mothers or Black parents can be, Black caregivers, grandparents could be charged for violence that is caused by their children and how far the law could go. But in a perfect world, these white mamas gotta take responsibility for their kids and their behavior. And I think that without having consideration for the ramifications of the precedent that's set, at what point do white parents get held accountable for the violence that they teach their kids how to proliferate? So that was the first thing. My first reaction was like, okay, about time white parents are held accountable for their parenting because they're often not. And so that was my reaction. I want to know what would be the best way for white parents in particular whose kids are around the world causing so much violence. At what point do parents at what point should parents be held responsible for the actions of their kids and the culture and the precedents and the norms that they set for their kids?
hope that they don't get their kids when it's very clear that they're demonstrating very dangerous behaviors. So that was my question. Also, definitely sharing concerns about how this will be used against us. And not for nothing, I'm not shocked that the first law like this is a white person because they're trying to sneak that shit in. I thought about that too. But yeah, that's all. Love the show. I'm listening to it on my morning routine. So take care, y'all. Bye.
I think what is the most insidious and dangerous is the bending of the law for class more than race. Because if you think about, I'm thinking of the I can't remember the family's name, but there was a whole.
I think it's the Murdoch family.
Is it Murdoch? I feel like Murdoch is. Anyway, the Murdoch family. Anyway,
Murdoch
just very,
murders?
very powerful people in the South that committed. Murdoch family committed many crimes, murders, and got away with it because of the power and the influence and the wealth that they had. I feel like that is probably what's going to be the most inequity, whereas white and black parents in this are at risk. But of course, even in that, black parents being even more, even held more accountable than their white children, because just of the ways that we hold empathy and innocence with whiteness in comparison to black folks. But I don't know. That's all I have to say. I don't know if I said anything.
No, you did. I think class is important. It's interesting because I was listening to two people debate this on YouTube, and it lent itself to some stereotypes that I was a little uncomfortable with. But there was a black woman who was saying, well, where does this law stop? And she was saying she was conflicted because she actually agreed with the law, with the ruling rather, but she was saying like, well, what if, a black child, doesn't go and shoot up a school, but there is a shooting in the hood or in the street, or I'm in Brooklyn, you're in Philly. This shit happens all the time. Can you then come for the parent where this child made a decision, and it wasn't the right decision? Does that automatically mean that the parent is not doing their job? Go ahead. And again, I think in this case, I think it was more clear that the mom ignored the signs, was neglectful, provided the gun, and so that is hopefully the precedent.
And in denial, versus...
and not taking any accountability, right?
Versus so often in our community, number one, there aren't resources for help. And number two, lots of parents, lots of single black mothers, which again is leaning towards stereotypes, and I don't want to do that, but are stretched so thin that it's like, what they're just stretched so thin, and the resources are so few, and 15, 16-year-old kids, the influence of the parents becomes less and less strong compared to the streets and the culture. And then there's music, so there's like all this like other shit that can be included in the case. Like, this just can't be the mom's influence, anyway,
like any wrongdoing of the child can't default to immediately the parent.
No. But in this case in particular, I think it was very clear.
Yeah, I think, and it's not, the father is going to stand trial next month.
I was going to ask about him.
He's standing trial next month. All right. Next up, last one.
Hi, so I tried filming something earlier,
it canceled or hung up. I got distracted, so I'm sorry. But I'll keep it shorter this time. Do you recommend a young professional from the South moving to Philly in their 30s to kind of start at the second phase of their life? Or as a local, do you feel like it wouldn't be super beneficial for an outsider to kind of spread their wings or create roots in Philly? Thank you so much. Bye.
You seem to have an opinion on this, so I'll let you go, Queen.
Now, let me say this. Philly is number one for STDs and single people, right? Which is just not very appealing. Philly is a very interesting city. Philly is the manifestation of edging in the most sexual way, where you're just so close, we're almost there, we could do this, but it just never blossoms. And the older I get, each generation, the generations 10, 20 years ahead of me, 10, my generation, folks behind me, always talk about the potential of Philly. Philly is that nigga that has a lot of potential, and if you show up and you do the work, maybe you can help it develop. So it's frustrating in that way, but also Philly is so small and so underdeveloped, not underdeveloped, I'm not going to use that word. Philly is so small that if you're coming to shine, you can be a big fish in a little pond, and you can have access to resources and people and possibilities very easily, more so than I would say other metropolitan, compared to New York, compared to like maybe the West Coast. And it's a pretty city, but your quality of life, if you're coming here, you're gonna put your head down and you really want to build this shit and you want to like mix and mingle, I think you can do it. You can do really, really well. But if you're coming here to just like chill and just try to get a certain quality of life, I don't know that you're gonna get it. I don't know where you're from. But if you're from like, I don't know where you're from. So again, similar to the other girl, come give yourself 2 weeks in Philly. Come when it's at its best time. So like make sure, yes, there's a festival, there's restaurants, there's things that you want to do. There's events happening so you can get a sampling of Philly's finest and then make that decision. But there's possibility here. You just gotta deal with the fuck shit and the possible chlamydia infection.
Oh my God. I mean, I think you said it very well. That Philly is the manifestation of edging. I love that. That is because that's how I feel. It's like, it's crazy the talent that comes out of Philly, the art scene in Philly, the music scene. It's a creative city, right? But it's also that city that I always look at it as like we got stuck in the Rocky movie of being this underdog, that if we reach the climax and it's like, who are we? If we're elite, then we lose our identity.
Wow.
Our identity is rooted in struggle and being an underdog and being this blue collar city, right? And so you see that and like how people can self-sabotage there or just only want to know Philly. Like
it's true.
I will say too, everywhere you go, class is a thing.
Yeah,
if you come to Philly
with money,
and you can live in Rittenhouse Square, girl, come to Philly. Yeah. Okay? If you can come in and own some property in a nice area and maybe flip some stuff, and yes, you will thrive in Philly. Yeah. You will have access to shit that the average person doesn't have access to. And maybe you can help dismantle that inequity. I don't know what you want to do. But I'm sorry, my mother is FaceTiming me. These parents calling during recordings is stressing me out. But yeah, like, it's a lot. Philly is tricky.
And there's a black excellence in Philly,
Yes.
tricky as well. Even if you come and you're thriving, it's like, well, where are the other thriving black folks at? They're there, but it's just it can get cliquish. I could talk about Philly for a minute. So, listen, yeah, it gets cliquish.
Yeah. I'm sorry, and you know what? That brings me to a point. Last episode, I guess I should say where I'm at right now. On Camp for Therapy, we used to talk about our feelings and level set. I will say this is a Friday night. We did record Thursday. In the middle of the second recording last night, I got a very unfortunate phone call from home from my father, and had a family member pass away who was my age, and very suddenly. And so I might be a little bit all over the place this episode, but that is why maybe even the transition into voicemails feels abrupt or weird. Monty gonna do his best with the editing, y'all, but that's what happened. And yeah, I'm just asking for some grace, I guess. I can't stand that word anymore. They took grace from us. And what's the other one? Toxic and trauma. Don't want to hear them. All the people that used them too much.
Oh.
It's very annoying for me to hear that now for some reason. I'm rejecting it completely. But
Get it.
yeah, I'm sick of it. But anyway, that's where I'm at. And if my mom calls again, I'm finna answer, because you just never know these days. So I'm gonna text her actually. But that's it. Let's take a break. Good to take a break. Also, don't move to Philly. But psych. Maybe move to New York. If you want to move to Philly, move to New York. I mean,
No, that's not. No.
it's not the same.
No.
Move to outside of Philly, where Philly is still
Move to
accessible.
the DMV area.
I would love to hear, because you have the DMV in Atlanta on such a pedestal, and maybe they deserve to be on that pedestal. But I want to hear from
Georgia.
people who live there.
Georgia, not Atlanta, respectively. Atlanta's also like, high expectations. You're bound to be disappointed, and it's very expensive. And you can't just move to fucking Atlanta. You can't.
You used to be able to.
Gentrification is real. White people.
Not just white people, black people are gentrifying shit up too. Black people with money.
That's true, but
I know, we're not
that's
talking about
reparations.
them. That's reparations, right? Okay. Let's take a break. You gonna sing?
after these messages, we'll be right back.
Boop.
All right.
Not how to have a good day. What? I'm not having a good day.
Oh, this is perfect then. You're not?
Girl, did you hear what I had just said? No, I'm pulling it together and keeping it together, but today is awful. I told you I talked to her.
No, you did not. I
talked
wish
to
I had.
her.
I did not know that. I thought you were a little bit out of that. Not out of
No,
it, but you hadn't been in contact with them.
No, I talked to my dad and I talked to Karen.
We'll talk about it afterwards.
Yeah, just awful. Awful. Anyway, all right, ready how to have a fucking good day.
All right. And we are back. So earlier, well, sometime last week, this week, every week, I had one of those moments, and they don't normally seize me the way that this particular day and moment did. I was possessed by it.
Oh.
I was simply, and it's a buildup, but I was sitting there and I was possessed by fear, panic, and overwhelm in a way that doesn't often happen. And that it even carried me into me trying to sleep. I knew I was really upset because I felt it during the day and I kind of brushed it off. And then when I tried to lie down, boom, it hit me. What are you going to do in 30 years? Jolie is getting older. You have 2 older parents, that one of which has no retirement plan. You don't have a retirement plan. Why are you trying to do this creative stuff? You need to just stop it and get this plan together. You can't actually do that because you're damn near 40 and it's too late to start getting it together. Your kid's about to be 18. I was just seized and paralyzed by overwhelm, worry, and confusion in a lot of ways. What?
Judgment a little bit?
Judgment. Absolutely. Perfect word. And I tried to wrestle with these things. And I tried to fight back the tears and the physical manifestations of these things. And I couldn't do it. And I woke up the very next day still carrying this stuff, irritated. The cloud was over my head. And there was a part of my consciousness that was like, oh, you can't think about that stuff right now. A part of me tried to compartmentalize it, but the cloud and the irritation and the subtle dissatisfaction that haunted me throughout the day, that any type of irritant or misstep or unexpected phone call, meeting, responsibility just was like nails on a chalkboard to me. I was having a very bad day and I could not stop it. And in some ways, I was overwhelmed and kind of like rolling in it. Just like when you're having a bad day, you're just like, oh, everything is making me feel like shit. So I was like completely active and engaged in it.
And like, engaged in the piling on.
Yeah.
Like, here we go again.
Here we go. Yeah. It was just like,
Girl, you described it every day last year and the year before that and the year before that. You're describing me.
I went on Instagram. I cried. I went on Instagram. I felt really helpless and really, really angry. Just hopeless is the word. I don't know what it was a bad day. I'm getting ahead of myself. It was just a fucking bad day. I went on Instagram. I talked to you on the phone too.
I was getting on your nerves?
No, you picked up on it. And I wasn't fully aware. I was so in my bad day. Like I was so in it and engaged in it. And I was so embodying it that it was... And because there is something that I am used to, I couldn't even separate myself from it. And you were like, "Oh, you okay? You feel a little bit tight." And I was like,
"Really?
Yeah."
What was I calling you for? I was calling to just talk, or I was calling.
No, we had to go through some difficult stuff. We were trying to manage the ordering of things. So I was already like having a fucked up thing, and then I had to do this very time sensitive.
The merch order. And, I thought I was keeping it together, but you were like, "You okay? You tight?" And I was like, "Everything's fine. No, I'm just tired." And I was. "Everything's fine. No, I'm just tired." Go on Instagram. I see a meme. And it goes, "What's my 10-year plan? Have a good day. What's my 5-year plan? Have a good day. What are my weekend plans? Have a good day. All I can do is be in the present and try to have a good day." And that snapped me out. It made me have it brought awareness to the fact that I was having a bad day. One, your question about like, "Are you okay?" You felt tight in the way that you kind of gave a descriptor, made me kind of snap out of it and be like, "Oh yeah, I am having a
bad day, and reading that meme kind of gave me, it just allowed me to have some awareness and to realize that, like, one, there's a possibility for control for your good day, and two, our future is often a result of what we're doing in the present. Kids, it's what, 9 o'clock outside.
This is a nice sound, though. There's a dog out there with them. These are the Philly soundscapes. In case you want to move to Philly, you are hearing them right now. They are having a good day out there.
They're having a good day. And I kind of stepped out. I had a moment of self-awareness, and I started to even spiral into a bit of a shame, because I was like, here I am, upset about having to manage all of these projects and things with my best friend, and my kid's fine. I just started shaming myself because, like, at the same time, about how I was feeling, because at the same time, this is also when Rafa is being bombed, and I
don't have a right to feel like
there's children that limp, ashen bodies on my screen that I'm like, fuck. So I kind of spiral into another type of shame and judgment. And then I was like, all right, Shanti, like, what you have to have there has to be a way out of this. How do I have a good day? How do I regain my day and empower myself? And so I turned to this book here. It's Real Love. Real Love. We've talked about it before on the podcast.
I was literally just talking to my aunt about that book, because she's reading Real Happiness. She wrote another one.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Real Love, The Art of Mindful Connection.
Oh my God, my card stopped working. Keep going. We're just going to have to use the audio. So I'd like to apologize to everybody who's listening to this. My stupid thing started being dumb. So we're using computer audio now. Go ahead.
I turned to Sharon Salzberg. And now Sharon Salzberg is a Buddhist. And she's a mindful, what would you call that? She's into mindfulness and a practitioner of mindfulness and Buddhism. And her book, The Real Love, The Art of Mindful Connection, is one that I turned to. And I started trying to bring language to what I was feeling. And one of the the broad stroke was like heartache or heartbreak in a way. And so I started researching on Instagram, Sharon Salzberg, how to get over heartbreak. And sorry, these children are out there just being in the moment, and it's making me upset.
Me too.
I know.
You open your window and be like, yo, shut the fuck up, but have a good day.
I'm trying to talk about mindfulness and happiness and being present. So then I stumble upon these directives that she offers for heartbreak, which then really helped me in my quest on how do we have a good day. But before I get into all of that, I wanted to talk to you about what is a bad day for you. How often do you have bad days? This is for all of us to interrogate. Is there a through line? Is there a commonality? Is there a common denominator for your bad days? And what is is there an internal dialogue that narrates your bad days? And if you could help us understand that, because I think once we kind of bring awareness to the quality of a bad day, once we understand the quality of a bad day, I think this what we're offered by Sharon and the meat and potatoes of this episode will help us to redirect it.
Well, something like this, the fact that my card is not working and it's saying it's full and I just deleted everything off of it, would normally send me into a spiraling bad day. And my bad days are always rooted in fear. Someone's going to hear this. The sound is not going to be good. We're going to miss an opportunity because the sound is not good. We're unprofessional. We're not real podcasters, because real podcasters would never have this issue. We're not going to be taken seriously. This is a poor reflection of how I show up to work. And a bad day for me is rooted in fear and self-rejection and judgment. And what you said when you started to describe how you felt in that bed, literally, I know I play around. I'm like, oh, that's me every day. That is literally how I was feeling. Okay, this is just not working, and I'm gonna let it go. How I was feeling the majority of 2021 or 2020, definitely 2019, 2018, 2021, 2022, and 2023.
Years of bad days.
Years of days ending like that. Getting into the bed and feeling so much anxiety about the future. Bad days are not in the present at all for me. And I do that Philly thing where I'm like, if it's going to be a bad day, I'm going to point out every way in which it's a bad motherfucking day because I'm going to feel this, right? And sadly, it takes for me sometimes to see what a real bad day is for me to recognize this is not a bad day and to put things into perspective. I'll get vulnerable. The call that I got was that my stepsister suddenly died. Gone. Just gone. That puts so much perspective into this stupid card not working. This is not a bad day. This is not a bad day. My problem is I don't want those types of things to happen and be the requirement for me to appreciate the days that I have.
Yeah.
So yeah, that I hope I answered your question.
No,
Did I answer
very
your
well.
question?
Very good. Very good. Very good. And I think I gave my similarly. I don't know that maybe the bad days are rooted in fear. But it's often a feeling of a lack of control. I think we all know my Achilles heel with the round the way curls. A lack of competency, a lack of when are you going to get it right? And then if things are not going right, then, again, self-judgment and looking for creating as well as looking for confirmations of this internal dialogue that drags me.
Wait, I just want to be clear. Lack of competency, is that your self-assessment?
That's my something happens that leads into my bad day. You haven't planned for this. You have this idea of you're delusional, you're irresponsible, and that was me at my most when I was saying I was overwrought with fear and overwhelm and panic. Those were the thoughts that aligned with my Achilles heel, my wound around my self-esteem or whatnot or whatever. And so Sharon had these really simple offerings, and it fucks me up that the Buddhist offerings are so simple, right? It's not about, you don't gotta chant a certain round of things a day. You don't gotta take this kind of initiation or ritual. I mean, some Buddhist practices do, but the basics of it is you always come back to mindfulness. You always just come back to your body. You come back to your breath. And so what she offers, when you realize, when you have that moment, because you have to have a slither of awareness of like, oh shit, I am in a bad day. Mm-hmm. She offers you to take apart the feelings. So this is what she says. Take apart the feelings. As we take them apart, even though everything we find might sound negative, the difficulties we're facing then become an alive system. It's not like one solid, congealed, unchanging mass. We begin to see it as a moment of this and a moment of that and a moment of something else that shift things right there. When we notice the changing nature of whatever we're feeling, there's a kind of liberation that comes with it. The experience is not forever. It's not. Even within itself, it's moving. Every time we feel frightened, we feel broken, we feel depressed. I encourage the experiment of switching from calling these states as bad or wrong or terrible to recognizing them as painful, because that's what they actually are. They're very painful states. And that helps me to not identify with the loop of failure that plays in my head, just that offering. And she goes on to talk about how the ways that you can start taking apart the feelings is start noticing where it shows up in your body. And I think there's something really important, and something that I'm not in practice of is understanding how the temporality of thoughts and emotions, even though they become patterns, right? And then the patterns become habit, and then the habit becomes like a quality of life. I think if we go in the reverse, we can kind of start untangling that and then reversing that in a way. But what do you think about that at all? Does that feel liberating to you? Does that feel like a new thought or
to
possibility
take apart
to
the
you?
feelings?
Yeah. Like when you are in your, because I can feel similarly when you were like, girl, you okay? Like I can call you and I could just hear the sound of your voice, and I'd be like, oh, well, she's overwhelmed. I've come to understand that as you being overwhelmed more than you being irritated. Or the root of the irritation is overwhelm. Yeah. But if you had to sit with if you had to break apart the feeling of overwhelm, what would it be? What would be the fragments of it? Physically and emotionally. Do you feel alone? Do you feel responsible? I'm putting words in your mouth. I'm gonna shut up.
No, that's helping me. I don't know that I've taken that apart. When I feel overwhelmed, I feel taken advantage of. Because usually my overwhelm comes from doing more than one person's job. You eating the mic?
I apologize, and I hit
they
the
about
mic.
to cuss us out. You gotta help me, and I gotta help you, because Monty also was on us about that. Yeah, I mean, feeling taken advantage of, feeling
I'm sorry.
alone.
Could you go deeper than that? So it feels like a loneliness.
Well, the taking advantage of feels like a slap in the face. It feels like a disregard, and um, it feels like I am not valued. Because really, if I was valued, somebody would help, or someone would recognize you're doing the work of more than one person, or this is not realistic, or this ask is too much. But because you needed to either get it done, or or you need a check, you gonna do it. And it's like, hated it. And I think that's why when I feel overwhelmed within this business, I take it so personally. And I know that that's not how you feel. But I have to tell myself that, like, it's not a slight to you. It's not personal, little girl. I also feel alone in the sense of, like, I don't know that anyone understands the amount of pressure and constant, just the way I can't turn my mind off because I'm constantly having to think 10 steps ahead on each project, on Around the Way Curls, on my life, on this, on that. And just the mental load that toll that takes on somebody. And so then I get into this thing of, like, nobody gets me. And then I can just be like short, and tight, because it's just like I'm reiterating those narratives in my head,
Yeah, I can't even I would even invite you to go even deeper to the
help me, girl. Tell me what you observed,
the
please.
lack of the original wound of, like, needing a specific attention and care when you were the most vulnerable, when you didn't have all these responsibilities, right? It was just like you were the responsibility of somebody else in a particular way. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, that would go back to the sexual
right. That's what I'm
abuse
alluding to. It was like when you
and
needed a particular kind of
well, if I can talk about that, that was also me. So there might be new listeners. As a child, I was sexually abused and raped by various people, various caretakers and children of caretakers, whatever. And one in particular, the man threatened my family and told me that I had to keep this secret, otherwise he would kill my father. And I took that on, right? As I'm taking that on, I am not going to say anything, and I am therefore keeping my father alive, protecting my family, and holding my family together. And no one knew that. So there was always this thing, thank you for pointing this out, there was always this thing of, like, I'm self-sacrificing for the betterment of the family. And so that can translate into, I am self-sacrificing for the betterment of Around the Way Curls, for the betterment of our friend group, for the betterment of work. I am overcompensating, over-delivering. I'm taking all of this on, and no one's acknowledging it. No one's seeing it. And I just have to do it. That's a great correlation, because I never thought of that.
Which is just like, if you think about a wound, it's just pulsating. It's just oozing. You know what I mean? It's not like it's not looking to heal it in a particular way. It's just like when those triggers come up, the wound is like bleeding a little bit more.
Yeah.
And when she says that these are temporary, it's hard, right? It's hard because it's like, oh shit, Shanti didn't put this post at 9 a.m. when she said that she was going to do it. And somehow that's connected to that, like, inflames your deepest wound. And, like, in reality, it's like, oh, those things aren't necessarily, you know, connected. But it's like this temporary, like,
Yeah.
scratching this thing, this wound that we have. And I think the most frustrating part, or what I'm trying to get out of, what I'm trying to bring us to, is this, what she invites us to do is become responsible when these things flare up in us, rather than letting that wound fester, or rather than, that's not the word, rather than moving unconsciously or with a lack of awareness of being like, whoa, that hurts. This is hitting something that, like, is very painful in this moment, that is asking me to be responsible and to manage, versus the unconscious thing of like, oh, this thing hurt me and this person did it. And, you know, this person is, the world is doing this thing. This person did this thing. I'm hurt. I'm just going to react. I'm not going to take on a certain responsibility, or even if responsibility is a hard word, that's like level 6, an awareness of what is actually happening. Does that make sense, or was I just saying a bunch of words?
No, it makes sense. I don't know. The triggers, though, I'm like, yes, things are going to trigger you. But I also think, yes, and you need to take responsibility for that. We need to take responsibility for that ourselves. I also think as you grow in a relationship, people know your triggers. You have to share your triggers, and people, well, the same way you take accountability, people honor those triggers a little bit and know what you, and understand that that's part of like the love language, right? Mm-hmm. It's like you can't just be walking on eggshells with people, right? Mm-hmm. Like you have to control yourself. Mm-hmm. But I do think that in a partnership, in partnerships and relationship with folks, that's part of it too. But we're talking about the self right now.
No, which then it becomes the invitation to like a deep love, right?
Yeah.
Because then you're like, I know we kept talking about this thing. It's like this thing of, all right, Shanti, I'm wrestling with this thing, but I also know that you're wrestling with this. You can't get it right. You can't show up. You can't
That's
do
what
this
we navigate.
thing.
It's like, I need you to show up and do what you say you're going to do. But then it's like, for me saying that to you, it's like, I don't want to reiterate to her this right. untruth.
But it's not your responsibility. But then it becomes, it's not
right.
your...
But how you say it, right? How I say it, how I deliver it to you, maybe how often, that is a thing. And you're shaking your head no, but I disagree with you there, is that you if you love somebody and you know what their triggers are, you're cognizant of how to still deliver your message right. without triggering them.
Right, without triggering them.
The best you can.
Or yeah. The best that you can invite them. I guess the best that you can invite them to be responsible. Mm-hmm. The best that you can invite them to show up for themselves, which will inevitably help them show up from their selves. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like mm-hmm. if you're showing up and you're like, Shanti said this thing, she didn't do it. I am being tempted to interpret it as disregard and neglect, which then my unconscious reaction would be to be irritable or whatever, whatever the thing is.
Yeah, feel slighted.
Whatever the thing is. I lost my train of thought in that. God damn it.
Damn, it was good though, girl. And all of this helps us have a better day.
Well, because inevitably, To have a good day is your responsibility. It's
Hated
your
it.
invitation to love. Having a good day is an invitation to loving yourself, because every single trigger that comes up is tapping on a wound and is an invitation for you to show up, to be aware of yourself and to show up for yourself, rather than, and to take the time to really listen and interrogate what's coming up for yourself versus this blanket, these motherfuckers don't know what they're doing, I'm working hard, I'm tired, I'm alone, I'm never gonna get anything right, I'm just wasting all my potential, I'm spinning my wheels, what's the like, all of that shit is, from what Sharon is saying so very sweetly, is immature and play. Like, if you really want to step into big time love, then you have to like be like, hold up, wait a minute, it is a responsibility. And I'm gonna read this quote that she says that really nailed it for me, and it especially helped me when I was like, again, who am I to not have a good day about shit when people are dying in Gaza and all this stuff? And she was like, listen here. If love is an ability, a nascent power curled within me, isn't it then also responsibility? My own responsibility? This is something I wrestle with often. The kindness or cruelty with which I treat myself once I've made a mistake, the way I take shame to heart or hold it in perspective, my ease of laughter and caring and encouraging myself or consoling myself when my heart is broken. Is that all up to me? How about when I meet a stranger or owe a debt of gratitude, run into an old friend who is a friend no longer, see my heart open under the admiring gaze of another, or feel myself disappearing as I strive to endlessly please them? Is my response really in my hands? What about when life deals me a bad blow? When I'm reeling from unfairness or cruelty, when my body betrays all I care about, or my neighbor betrays all I care about, or my country betrays all I care about? Love is a strength, not a weakness. Might be my favorite saying. But what about those times when I'm tempted to, in effect, cross my fingers behind my back before uttering it? Is the love that ensues or doesn't, love for myself, for another, or for life itself, also up to me? I think it is up to me. It is up to each one of us. And I think that working toward fulfilling that promise is the most amazing thing we can do with our lives.
Sharon.
And it made me sit with, we talk about capitalism. It made me go back to this idea of time and how white supremacy, capitalism, all the isms, classism, rob us of time in a particular way. And I feel like if we commit ourselves to this kind of deep self-love first, this deep kind of responsibility of making the quality of our days, because we know that it affects the quality of our lives, which we know then affects the quality of the ones we love's lives. If we make that number one, then this commitment and this kind of ruthlessness for our self-actualization and our really our self-care completely disrupts capitalism and all the ways that our time and our attention to ourselves and our attention to other people and deadlines and goals and projections can rip that from us. Did I say a bunch of words?
You did, but they made sense.
Right? Like if it's like
you're talking. You
if it's
talking
like
some shit
I
right now.
have to stop this podcast because I have to talk to my people right now, or I'm feeling deep sorrow because I'm feeling a type of way. I have to tend to myself so that I can tend to another person. I feel like that's as much as we can possibly do it. It has to be done, and then it makes me think about like. Anyway, I'm going off, but it
Go
makes
ahead.
me think about
No.
like watching Love on the Spectrum or all of these different types of neural differences where people do not behave. They cannot behave. They will not follow this pattern of politeness and protocol. It's just like, I'm gonna say what I say, I'm gonna feel what I do, I can tolerate only what I can tolerate. Is like, I don't know, it feels like a hack in a way. It feels like a beautiful glimpse of like authenticity that's missing in some ways that we just, are not used to. But I don't know. I felt that, and it really helps me to think about how to have a good day and how important it is to my life and the people that I love. And what would have happened if I told you when you said, "Are you feeling tight?" If I had said yes, and I don't know why, and I'm like having a terrible day, and like I don't know. I don't know. It's just an invite to like real care in a way that I just like.
Real love.
Real love.
The name of the book.
But I had to do that for I had to realize I was having a bad day and my body was tight. And I was like, who the fuck is she talking to? My body's tight. It is tight. I didn't realize till you said that. And it was like, you ripped my clothes off in a way. I was like, oh my God, I am tight.
Whoa. Seriously, dog. You are really trying to be gay with me. This is a new thing.
But it was. And then it made me realize like how I just couldn't even see myself. What to speak of you seeing me. I was just like, no, I'm having a bad day because this. And Antoinette's calling me and asking me about these things. And I was like, girl, no, you're in flames. You're flaring up. And you refuse to like tend to what this wound is offering you. Hated it.
It's so annoying, these mirrors we are to each other. Gross. And look at your face.
I like the responsibility is ours.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Always. Like,
come on, Alex L. And the good branding. That was good for her.
That was so good. Always is so good. Seriously. She said all period ways at the end of that, always. Yo, I remember seeing that like, oh my God.
I said
she about to take over. I'm about to buy her journal just because she wrote that.
I said, damn, that's deep.
It really is though. It's simple, but it's deep. Annoying. Yo, I can't wait to do mindless. We got anything mindless going on? All this mindfulness.
The time is calling us. The guys are like, y'all better tighten up because this shit is serious. Like, what the fuck y'all want to talk about?
Oh.
Jay-Z and Beyonce?
Yes. They said that Beyonce might have a country song with Taylor Swift on it, on this album.
And then that's how you know she is. No. Is she brilliant or is she completely corrupt?
Why would that be corrupt? She said, all y'all shut up. We good over here. Me and my white queen are good and we finna take over. And if y'all still don't let me get in these country radio stations and on these charts with Taylor on it, imagine the Beehive and the Swifties supporting Beyonce and being like, nah, y'all being racist. Anyway, we
digress.
We digress.
All right, y'all. Internet, thank you so much for recording this podcast with me.
I'd like to apologize to everybody about my audio. I don't know what's going on. Can you send me a picture of our credit card so I can buy new SD cards?
Sure.
Thank you. Sugar mama. That I take your clothes off if you give me the credit card.
Tell me to take my pants off, somebody.
Baby fat. We got a lot of feedback. My mouth is so juicy. Did you hear that? We got a lot of feedback.
Really? What did they say? They
were horrified by baby fat. Looking back at it, they were like, the target audience of baby fat, disgusting. Like they were going in.
But they also all had baby fat puffers, didn't they?
I wasn't allowed. I told you I wasn't allowed to. Somebody also just wrote, do it, ... It's queer and that's fine, wink face. I can't deal. This little platonic queer flirtation between the two of you needs to be a segment of its own. Y'all are so precious. Okay, bye. That is so funny. I love it. We're queer. You're right. You gotta
put that stamp. We gotta get a grant for this queer. Black queer women?
What?
Give us a grant.
Single mother? Baby.
Business
I helped you raise Joe. That's what we gonna say. You're a single mother and I stepped up.
And my community. It might be polyamorous too. Like what?
Well, it is, honey. We out here. Other people, listen. Spectrum. Also, did you
ADHD, neurodivergent, nigga?
I just said dyslexic. Girl, we got a whole bunch of nonsense over here.
Intersections. Call this fucking woven how we intersected over here. This is tight knit Egyptian fucking 1,000 count, nigga.
Did you just see who followed us? I was passed out.
And that's why
Why did she follow us?
Because Antoinette, we
stop. I gotta go.
Have to
you get on her.
Tap into our core, and we have to have her on the podcast, but we have to believe in ourselves, and you can't be thinking we raggedy, and I can't be thinking I'm raggedy.
I can't even bring myself to ask Cole Arthur Riley on this podcast.
Yeah, but that is a symptom of something deeper that we have to just show up. No, we gotta
ask Cole. Y'all, the person we talked, Adrienne Marie Brown, followed us on Instagrams.
Because our memes are lit.
I think it's because of our memes. I don't think she knows shit about us. We're like,
that's a sign of intelligence.
You just said that you weren't hungry. Your stomach hurt. What are you eating?
A lime. It ain't a chicken wing, nigga. It's
what's it called?
A lime.
Oral
fixation.
Fixation.
Your girl over here sexually.
And she just belched. All right, it's time to go. Everything's unraveling.
Sexually.
Let's have a good day.
Everybody have a good day. It is your responsibility, okay?
Is this an affirmation? Monty, cue the music.
I don't have an affirmation.
Come on. You was about to do it.
Y'all niggas better bundle up. Sorry. But no, we have to take responsibility for our days, okay? It is a collective responsibility. So I don't have anything catchy to say beside that, but to be really hold yourself close. We have to examine ourselves and hold ourselves like newborn babies. Why is my baby colicky? Why is it crying? Why is it cranky? What does it need? And we have to not let anything or anyone break that attention, that care, and that desire for the little, because we just little fucking babies out here, for real. We the babies and the moms at the same time, dog. We all single moms on the low. We all single moms out here. It's hard. That's crazy.
That's crazy though. She
We
said,
are
"We the
single moms. We ain't never had kids no more, and the kids are us.
The kids are us. We all single moms, and the daddies are single daddies,
And the daddies are single daddies.
and the theys and thems are single humans. Damn.
Single humans. It's tough. It's not tough. It's a beautiful opportunity for care. So
Ooh,
you have
that-
to show up for that. We can't be abandoning our babies out here.
No, I've abandoned my boy.
my boy. I've abandoned my child.
No, but that ass, this was a really good episode. Why are you eating that lime like
I'm
this?
sorry. Okay. I'm sorry.
But why? Like, I never seen somebody fuck up a lime
It's
like
delicious. I'm a little
that.
tipsy.
You're gonna mess
too.
up your teeth, your enamel. And you got the whitest teeth I know.
I don't.
It's so annoying. Yes, you do.
You have
say
very
that all
white
the time.
teeth. I don't.
It's all a lie. Cause these Jones are yellow. See it's the bottom.
Oh, don't show nobody now. Back up.
You see it?
Uh-oh.
You saw it.
Back up.
I can't.
Don't do it again.
I won't. It's embarrassing. I won't talk about it.
All right, y'all. Peace to the gods.
Old and the new.
And we only had a minute and 13 minutes.
What? A minute and
Hour and
13 minutes? I'm so upset about this. No, I'm not. I'm gonna let it go.
Let me tell you something. That
Why is
woman,
this doing that?
that
My
person.
aunt literally was talking to me about Sharon Salzberg today.
Was a sign.
That's crazy. I gotta text her.
It's that.
What woman? You about to talk shit about somebody? Because we still recording. You want me to take it off?
No, they can listen because she's brilliant. I'm about to pay for her Patreon. The girl that
Sharon got a Patreon?
No. The person that interviewed Most Def,
The black girl, yeah.
her audio is not very good. And she has she's making hand over fist because the content and the information, I was in my car, turn that volume all the way up on my car. I ain't care. It's the
I
content.
don't care.
Oh.
I'm going to say this. That email you sent out, good job by you. That email you sent out about this your last chance or whatever, people responded to that. I just been putting them in a folder.
They actually been responding or they've been ordering?
They've been ordering like a mug.
Yeah, we gotta stop playing.
How many people we got on the newsletter? I couldn't stop
400?
looking at my own eyebrows this episode.
They look
You're
so
right.
good.
What did I do?
I don't know. They look darker too.
You know what I did? I was doing it wrong. I used to put the eyebrow gel down and then fill it in a little bit. Why would I do that?
What do you do now?
You fill it in first and then you put the eyebrow gel down.
Word.
Dummy. You see that difference?
Girl, you better do what you got to do. Do what you got to do.
I really wanted to see y'all. Can't come home twice.
Are we recording?
You don't want to go?
It's supposed to be a snowstorm tomorrow. It's supposed to be 3 to 5 inches. Yo, when we getting
Is
Botox?
it for real? Y'all was gonna let me drive
When
down
we
there in
getting
3 to 5?
Botox?
You see it, right? I need it.
For me, where are we going?
We gotta go. So here's the thing. I would have to take a day off because we're gonna go to Brooklyn Face and Eye. Look it up right now. Go. Brooklyn
Do I
Face
have to
and
go to
Eye.
Brooklyn?
Yeah. If you want to go, it's Brooklyn Face and Eye. This is a black woman. And that's who they told me to go to. And that's where my sister told me to go. She ain't got it yet. But my sister just been doing her research. But the problem with Brooklyn Face and Eye is that they only have appointments on like Tuesday and Thursday during the day. It's like, what?
Ridiculous.
I got a fucking job. But she also does eye. So is your eyelid going? Did
I
you
don't
tell
have
me that?
eyelids.
She could get you one. She does all kinds of. She does eyelid lifts.
I want her to go there and tell me I'm ugly and tell me what I need to do. She's like, girl, yeah, you need you know what
No,
it is?
she's not.
Mine is, I'm losing I'm going to have my mom's chin, so I have to get this shit tightened up now. I lose my chin.
No, you just gotta wait on that and get a chin lift
I don't want to
or
work.
fillers. They might tell you
that's what I want.
fillers. She does fillers.
Yeah, that's what I need. I'm like,
She does.
girl,
Her stuff
hit
is
me
like
in the-
eye for the most part. Anyway,
And I need to get this. we're bad. We talk all this shit and then we come on here. I don't care. That ain't got nothing to do. I still can tend to my wounds and look like I'm 32. Okay.
Oh yeah, she got a whole bunch of stuff on here. She got Botox, minimized frown lines,
girl?
I don't know. You gotta go. So we gotta talk. Request a consultation. I'm gonna request a consultation again, and I'm gonna say, lady, I know people that go to her, and you know who I think goes to her. I'm gonna text you.
I know who you about to say.
And you know
the God.
So I know people that go to her, because they've tagged her and stuff, and their skin is fucking perfect. And it doesn't look like anybody's gotten anything. Like, black women really out here getting this stuff done. Crazy.
It's the lips for me that takes me out. I'm like...
She like 50. That's the owner. Look at her skin.
Wait, I'm sorry. I didn't see. I was looking at the order. Let me show it again.
Don't judge me on the plants.
I gotta start again.
If you're game, I'd love to take you a behind-the-scenes tour of the office. This is the waiting room.
She's in a brownstone.
Cute, to be honest with you. Don't judge me on the plants. I try to keep them alive. I'm not known for having the greenest of thumbs.
Look at her skin.
We take a little walk. The first room that we'll see here is our
She need a
examination room, and this is
photographer though.
A slit lamp microscope.
She tripping. Don't nobody want to see this shit.
Doing microscopic.
Show us your face.
Look at her. Look at her skin. Oh,
that was a doll. That was not a real person.
It was a real person.
No way.
That was a real person.
That was a mannequin head.
No, it wasn't.
Dog,
How do I get it to pause? Skin perfect. Skin perfect. Oh my god. That's what who like this? Oh. Look at her. Look at her skin.
That's AI.
No, it's not. We gotta
I'm cool with it, no, but don't be going posting on IG like, I got my skin done. Fuck out of here. Mind your business, dog. You got Patreon.
No, that's
the
only if
reason
people want to do it. I will absolutely say I got my Botox, y'all. Finally.
I ain't. I don't know what she's talking about.
Look at her.
I am an oculofacial plastic surgeon. I am the founder of Epilogic Skincare. I am also the founder and medical director of Brooklyn Face and Eye. First off, I have the best job on the planet. I get to talk beauty all day long.
First of all, I also need to get my hair done because wearing it curly right now is not an option. It's so ugly.
How are you going to get it done?
I got to get it cut, and I have to call the people back from Canada. I might go to Canada to get my hair cut.
We should have a meet up there. We got people that listen to us in Canada?
Yeah. Oh my God, I know her. She great. No, let me not say that. I know this lady.
I just need right here and my chin. Girl, shave this off and give me a new chin. Put a chin implant in. I might need a chin implant.
No, you don't. Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go here.
How's Blue?
Oh, girl. I also know her. She another one. She in Renee's group.
Yeah, but like I can see something.
Perfect.
I can tell a little bit though. Their skin is perfect, but like I can see it.
You can see what? You can't see shit.
It's like,
and they literally just left. Look, her skin's still moving.
Look, we look exactly the same. That's how I'm gonna be. I'm gonna come out right. I'm gonna come right out of there looking just like that too. When I come out there, y'all gonna be like, "Oh, Shanti."
I think
she gonna say like, "Girl, you need to." She gonna say I have Britney Spears eyes. I'm like, "Oh, I know. I'm different." What's up with Blue, Antoinette?
They don't know. They said that Blue was a beacon of health, child. They examined. Oops. They examined her, and she was an angel in there. I couldn't believe it. She was literally an angel. She was so cooperative, and they were like, "You have the best behaved cat," and I was like, "Who?" She was so good because she was scared, and this man, he had all these tattoos all over his face. He was holding her. He was like, she was on the little bed thing, like their little vet thing, and he was just like holding her, and she kept like burrowing her face into his chest while the lady like was massaging her.
Thought.
Huh?
It was a little thotty.
Yeah, while the lady was massaging her neck and stuff to see if she felt anything. They didn't see anything. She said that she got a shot for her just in case she has inflamed vocal cords or any inflammation here. And she didn't even cry with the shot. She was just like, she got her urine taken, so they have to put a needle in her stomach and pull the urine out. And I didn't like that. But she was just like, which I kept saying was concerning because usually she's so vocal, and I'm like, she's not saying anything, and she's not well behaved. There's something different. But they were, and what else did she do? She got blood work taken, and she cost me $700.
Excuse me?
$700. And this was after I had already spent $680 on new luggage because Delta broke my luggage up, and
I thought they were gonna send you
they sending me, I can't find a receipt for the luggage, so they're gonna send hopefully $250. That's like the standard if you can't find a receipt, whatever. But I got good durable luggage instead of, anyway, but yes, very expensive. Today was not a bad day. I knew that it was going to be costly to run tests, so I was prepared for that, but I just want her to be okay. She is overweight, and I called my mom and told her that, and she said, "I don't believe that," and that pissed me off. So she is not going to my mom's house. There's no way in hell. I told her that the vet said, "Do not give this cat wet food. There's too much calories in wet food." And she's an indoor cat in a 1-bedroom apartment that does not get enough exercise. And my mom was like, no, she shouldn't have to eat the same thing every day. So she does not listen. And we got into a little bit of an argument about that. And 3 pounds is a lot for a cat to lose. It's a lot. So I'm the only thing standing in between life and death for Blue when it comes to my mother, because she would kill her out of love. Like, she'll think she's loving her, but she would kill that cat. Like, to gain 3 pounds in a couple of months, in a month and a half, Mom, what are you doing over there? So, but she's all right, I think. We're gonna find out. The blood work comes back tomorrow, and if anything looks tricky. But the lady said that her cat, as her cat got older, that her cat's meow did the same thing, and that she ran all these tests. She was all nervous, and she said cat lived a long ass time. It was fine. Their meow just changed. And I was like, no, it sounds like something's in there. But she said she could have some sort of like little kitty infection if she ate. Like I told her, she was rummaging through the trash can when she got back here and was eating chicken bones and shit. Chicken bones can break off and hurt them. So if she had any kind of inflammation from being scratched or anything like that, then it's supposed to take care of it. But she was a really good girl. I was really impressed by how she handled that today.
Good job, Blue.
She really was good. But I hate seeing her on that little table. People poking her and prodding her. But she was loving. She was lovable with them. So I don't know. I think she's going to be all right.
Yes, she will.
She begging me for food, but I'm not giving it to her. It just makes me nervous.
All right.
So what you want me to do? You want me to reach out to these people about the Botox? Would you
Oh,
come
yeah.
up here?
How much it cost?
I don't. It's a it's a consultation, so they'll tell
She'll be
you.
like, for you? You?
I mean, you should probably find a place in New
In
York.
Philly,
I mean,
right?
in Philly, because
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense for you to come all the way
Yeah,
up here.
and I think I know somebody that's going to help me. That knows all the
Somebody
things.
just bought something else, girl. We selling stuff, girl.
So you just got
And men
harass
are buying
people.
this.
Yeah, all you got to do is harass the niggas.
Let me find out. All you gotta do is be like, yo, can you buy my stuff real
You
quick?
gotta remind them. They forget. They like, oh, okay. I'm
Why
gonna
would you
post Nana's
forget?
video tomorrow too,
What video?
where she showed how to cut the shirt.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna close it at 11:59. The site will close down.
I saw. All right.
And then you
I don't think that I knew that there was going to be snow tomorrow, so
3
that's
to 5
definitely not
inches apparently. Apparently.
Yeah, like there's flurries all day tomorrow.
You got food at your house?
No.
You better order it right now.
I'm gonna order it right now.
Oh no, you don't need that.
What you mean?
You don't need to.
I'm not
do
going
that.
over there.
Why?
I need
It's
to
a
be in my
snowstorm.
house. No. They can come here.
Go get yourself some food, because ain't nothing better than having some food and some snow falling. Oh, it's my favoriteest thing in the world. It makes me feel like everything's okay.
Oh my God! All-Star Weekend is this weekend.
I don't know what that
Definitely
means.
not hanging out
Antoinette.
with y'all. The NBA All-Star. Wow, Michael Parsons. I can't stand him, but he kind of
Oh,
performed.
baby, you're so fine. Bum, ba-dum, ba, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum. I need some action.
That's what they was playing at the Valentine's Day thing.
Probably.
How do I watch the All-Star game?
Let me text
Faith
them right
Evans
now. And be
admitted
like, y'all
that she
know
ate
that
Nicki's
it's
ass.
supposed to snow, right?
Did you hear that? Why would you leave? I'm turning this off. Bye, y'all.